Hi, John.
Hey, Alex.
Do you know what I hate?
What's that?
I hate, I don't know, pollution?
Yeah, that's not great.
Like ocean pollution?
Oh, yeah. Oh, ocean pollution. Yeah, no, fuck that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it rhymes, it's dirty, gets all up in your gills.
You get jams your head in jars.
Oh, don't even get me started on head in jars. Just like our adorable friend Ponyo. Ponyo is the next Miyazaki movie, who I've been told his name is actually Hayao Miyazaki.
Oh.
Although I'm still mispronouncing it, but it's more that way than Hayao, which I was doing.
That's too bad. You had a nice thing going there.
But I mean, that's also only one person said that. But you know, when 50%
But it was
of our,
Hayao Miyazaki.
yeah, when 50% of our audience tells me something, I'll listen.
Steph quit
Yeah,
suspiciously
Ponyo,
quiet.
2008, Ponyo. It is delightful. I think Ponyo might be my best friend forever. Like, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Because Sasuke also might be my best friend forever.
Cool.
And those old people might be my best friend forever.
Just chumming around with a couple of 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, Ponyo is like a magical creature from the sea, so I don't
Sure.
know if age is really a matter, you know?
Yeah, I bet you've used that excuse before.
So this was your first Ponyo.
Yes, this was my very first Ponyo.
How'd you like Ponyo?
It's fine. I don't love it as much as his other works, but it still has a lot of things that I love in it. It's like the kiddie-ish, the most kiddie one I've seen. Most childish, perhaps. But I like the art style in it a lot.
Yes.
While the characters themselves still look like sort of cell animation, so much of the backgrounds look like colored pencil, which makes them very sort of textured and really adds to sort of the childish nature of the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts of it is this kind of colored pencil backgrounds and how it just instills that kind of magical realism, childish thing to it. Because this movie is, with given any kind of seriousness, a fucking horror movie on a deep level.
Yes, I have that in my notes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, it is the story of a fish that drinks human blood and then threatens the world because her psychopathic father is going to end the world of man to bring the ocean back to the dead Soviet age. It is a group of old women drowned violently, or would if it was not for like this movie could be dark as fuck.
Yeah, see,
I totally get it.
I didn't even go so far as to the magic dad. I just had a thing where this boy finds this strange sea creature. It inadvertently tastes some of his blood, which causes it to change, and then it hungers for more, and has this almost like single white female thing going on, but just will stop at nothing to get this kid, and that's certainly how like the first half of the movie plays.
Yeah, but I mean, her dad, Liam Neeson, is hell bent on destroying all humans. I think the reason I like this, it reminds me of old Looney Tunes and old fairy tales, where it's just. Not Looney Tunes, but like old Disney cartoons, where just like there is, if you peel back just the slightest little bit, it is dark as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. And although I mean, I didn't get the sense that the dad wanted to destroy all humans.
He literally said he's going to wipe the plague of humans off the planet.
Well, because I thought the whole thing, like towards the end, was him figuring out that there needed to be balance, and that Ponyo was upsetting the balance.
Yeah. No, at the end, yes. But like when he's putting the magic spell in the well,
that's right,
before Ponyo gets in there, his whole thing is just like him muttering, "I'm gonna bring this whole shit box back to the dead of Soviet age."
Yeah. When fish
I'm paraphrasing slightly.
Yeah. Which I'm glad they kind of answered that question, because for the first part of this movie, I'm like, this man fucked a fish. This man is Troy McClure.
You'll be shocked. Note, I have that note as well, that he fucked a fish. I also said, do I dare bring up Cloaca again?
Yeah, well, because it's Ponyo. When you're introduced to Ponyo, she's in this undersea wizard's lair, trapped in this giant fishbowl with a bunch of what we learn are siblings, but like tinier versions of her, which they are creepy.
Oh, see, I thought they were adorable in the same way, because they make the same noise as the grubs from Hollow Knight. I think you played Hollow Knight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make that kind of noise
when they're like,
but higher,
like gumming things, and just don't like it. Creepy. Swarms of things with human faces. Awful.
Yeah, I mean that sounds comforting to me. I would love to just be
I don't know.
devoured by human face fish.
Yeah, not my thing.
Finally turned back into sea foam.
He does make it, as cute as a thing like that could be, I guess. But going on to your point about like the way he does the backgrounds, and obviously it's a theme throughout his work of nature and loving nature and stuff like that. In fact, there's a on HBO Max on their Studio Ghibli channel. There's a Studio Ghibli nature reel. You can just press play and it's just a bunch of nature scenes all done Studio Ghibli.
Oh,
yeah.
I may need to.
It's
need to
relaxing.
watch
This
that
movie,
at some
like he makes nature look like a place I want to be instead of a place filled with bugs and allergens that will try to kill me. And it's frustrating. You're like, oh yeah, outside's pretty great, and then you go outside and it's awful. No thanks.
So the opening thing is we're establishing Ponyo, though at the time, nay
Brunhilde, yeah.
Which is interesting because so his Brunhilde, and they also have notes of or kind of Ersatz one note off Flight of the Valkyries.
Yeah, he was actually inspired by Wagner's stuff when putting this together.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of it's got a lot of Fantasia, the way the schools of fish are moving, and it's like this orchestral thing, and it's but anyway, yeah, the Brunhilde thing, I was like, oh, this is weird. Why is it like Wagner's Der Nibelring or whatever the fuck that is? But because it's like Japanese, I don't know, it just culture, it's perfect, but it just threw me off. But the opening thing is like these kind of wood cuts that are animated, and that's the credits.
Yeah, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
I had this image of Wes Anderson just punching sheetrock, going, "I'll never be this perfect. I'll never get this far."
It was one step ahead. Yeah,
yeah, because it is like everything he wants to be. It's pastel. It's gorgeous. It's young. There's darkness in it. It's like I'll never get there.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Hayao.
Yeah, I mean this definitely has tones of The Little Mermaid in there, but I mean this joins the long list of films of movies about things wanting to be human, be it The Little Mermaid, Under the Skin, Short Circuit 2, just masterpieces all, and I think this deserves a spot up there.
So you're positing that Ponyo's siblings are actually more like Los Locos, where they'll kick your balls into outer space.
They'll gum your balls into outer space.
Ah, yeah. Oh, I get it. Oh, much like the old people, because they've lost their teeth, but still loved Given Dome.
The English dub must be a lot different than the subtitled version I watched.
You're the one that brought up a gum job. There's only one way a normal human mind would interpret you saying that, and that's of course being blown by an elderly person.
Now, I was talking to them about them destroying your testicles, but hey, there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
Yeah, don't forget to destroy the testicles. If I could have done a better Stallone, that would have been hilarious. But I can't. So.
But it was good enough that I got it.
She gets stuck in a bottle, and Sasuke has to save her.
Because she escapes and gets caught in like a thing that's just like, I don't know, is it cleaning the garbage off the ocean floor or something? There's a ton of it. And it's like catching it in a net, and because at first it's like, is it trawling for something? Is it trying to get some crab or crayfish or something? But it looked like it was just getting garbage.
Let's just say whatever you just said was right.
Sure, it was just
Because I'm sure you'll like to hear that. Enjoy.
I'm gonna clip that and add that to every episode.
Please do. Enjoy. One of us was bound to be right at some point. I'm glad it'll be you in perpetuity. He says, "Oh yeah, here's a question for you. What do you think his hair is supposed to look like, him being Sasuke?"
What do I think his hair is supposed to look like?
Well, because he's got like gray hair underneath.
Well, I think it's just supposed to be close cut. Like,
is that supposed to read as close cut? Because it reads as just gray to me. I guess that's what they're trying to intimate.
No, it's like if you got a little blonde kid or something, and you being a little blonde kid myself at one point, you give him a super close haircut like that, it's going to look a little bit lighter than the rest of his hair.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of was my guess. I mean, obviously that's the only answer, but it's an interesting way to do it because you need Sasuke to read both older and his age for the story to work. Because he's got to be like a brave little boy, but also he has to have the intelligence, and because like his mother essentially abandons him during a crisis. But like, so I think that, I don't know, I was just kind of positing that like the character design of having that gray almost allows some kind of agency or adulthood on him that you wouldn't get away with if he
That's interesting, yeah. Because I mean, they didn't necessarily have to go as gray as they did, I suppose. But yeah, that's
yeah. And he always wears the little hat, which is both adorable, but also it's like, I don't know, a symbol of authority. It just, because I was trying to, as I was watching the movie, a couple things jumped at me because I've seen this a few times before. His mom is terrible at being a mom. I mean, she's like the loveliest human being ever in some scenes. And then other scenes, I'm going to drive my car like a fucking maniac and I'm going to endanger my child's life for no reason other than I need to get home.
But it
and then when she gets home, she immediately turns around and leaves her child. Fuck her.
Yeah, and most of the times driving, though, like, it never seemed like she was out of control. Which isn't to say that she wasn't, you know what I mean? Because it can just change in a second. But it always just was like, yeah, she's like a maniac, but she's got this. Like, at one point, yeah, because they live on top of a hill, she's driving up there, and the car is, like, skidding, but there's no indication that anyone's in any real danger. Even though I'm watching it and going, oh my God. The camera's acting like this is just the normal, this is what happens.
Yeah. And that style of driving is very anime. Like, there's a bunch of kind of younger style. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just, I just, this time I found myself getting like infuriated of like how badly she's like, but I'm like, this movie kind of gives you leave to do that. Yeah.
See, yeah, I mean, and as far as like her abandoning him, like I agree, but like at that point it's like, well, we're safe up here. We know we're safe where we are. I'm worried about all those elderly people. And just in case someone's here, but like it's not a great decision, but I don't think it's not like when you say abandon it sounds more thoughtless.
But he's 5. There's a random other child she doesn't know that he now has to take care of,
which she just accepts that thing's a fish.
I wonder about that. Once she meets her mom later, obviously she knows she's a fish.
Yeah,
but she's just doing the mom thing of like, oh, she used to be a fish, huh?
See, yeah, there's that. But like at a certain point in this nonsense, you don't think you'd be like, well, let's see if we can contact your parents or anything. You know what I mean? Like, where do you at? You know, where's your mom? Because you can probably break through the little kid's kayfabe pretty easy. But no, she just goes along with it the whole time. But that also, maybe she's just trying to keep him calm, and then we'll deal with this afterwards. Maybe her parents are dead. I don't know. Yeah,
my husband's probably dead. I'm stuck with this fucking kid.
Yeah. Which that's a reoccurring theme in this is the parental stuff, like the mothers and fathers. So Sasuke's dad is like gone all the time. That's a little point of drama with the mom. And the mom's there. Whereas with Ponyo, her dad's always there, and it's actually very controlling. Whereas the mom's gone all the time. Yeah. So I mean the point is in either case is that moms are great and dads are terrible. And I agree with it. And so much so that if I ever had kids, I will, because of this movie, I will not be a part of their lives whatsoever in order to give them the best possible future.
Well, John,
dads just shouldn't be around.
With one hand, I give you scorn for dumping those genetics onto another generation. Mm-hmm. But with my other hand, I give you praise for leaving and not and keeping those personality traits of another generation.
Yeah, see, that's my point. Is that like when the dads hang around, look at what happens. It's bad. They're jerks.
Though once you leave, let me just give you a little preview. Hey, I'm your Uncle Alex.
Oh, I will have moved far away from you by this time.
But you're leaving. You're leaving the kid, right?
No. I'll make sure my family's set up. It's like well, we're having a kid. We better move to where the schools are good.
Okay.
It's more just like just
move where the Alex isn't.
I just move next to a school. That's really all we got to
do. I'm just going to go through notes in order because I don't know how much we're going to get from going beat by beat, but let's hit the major plot points. But when Sasuke is at school, one of the cutest dialogues that's ever happened in the history of cute is Sasuke's talking to one of his classmates, and she's like, "Hey, Sasuke, why don't we go do something?" And he's like, "No, I'm busy." He's like, "You're not busy. You're 5." Uh-huh. What a fucking delight. And then he responds with, "I am too. I have a job."
Yeah.
And his job is watching over Ponyo, the blood-drinking demon, magic demon from the deep, the Lovecraftian monster he birthed earlier.
Well, Sasuke's a little playboy because both the little girls that want to come play with him are little girls, and then Ponyo loves him. Like he's got swag. The whole movie, I'm like, damn, he's got swag.
He's got that cute little captain's hat. He's like a little Paul F. Tompkins.
Yeah. He's adorable. But that actually, because at that point, he has Ponyo in a little pail.
A green pail.
A green pail and there's one part where he accidentally dumps it over, and I made the sound my mom would make when she was teaching me how to drive that. Like, it
funny,
just happened. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, this isn't real, but man, it got me.
That's me. The Miyazaki thing is really like bringing out a lot of like paternal instincts in me that I didn't think were there.
Oh, totally. Just like when Ponyo becomes fully like a little girl, and she and him are just like running around the house. And she's got the light on her head, and she's just running around, and they're just chanting antenna, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like, I get why people take pictures of their kids all the time, or like,
yeah, totally.
you could put up with all the awful stuff that kids do I get
take pictures of my Miyazaki movies.
Yeah, this is my real family.
One of the cute things too, when he's taking care of Ponyo at the school, where he's like puts leaves on top of it, like, you think there are any cats around?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's leaving a fish in a bucket, basically like trying to feed cats. Like, oh no, here's what I'll do. I'll put a leaf on it, and that'll stop them. It's such great little kid logic. Mm-hmm. And again, I wouldn't be complimenting a kid for doing that because a kid's a fucking idiot. But these grown-ass men that animated this movie, that's an adorable thing for them to come up with.
Good job, homies.
So he runs from the school, and we meet the old people. And in a sequence of weird coincidences, John and I decided to do the Miyazaki movies. And while it was happening, Miyazaki's birthday was celebrated, which obviously I didn't plan. And then in this movie, one of the American voice actors is Betty White, plays one of the old people who just passed away, a big part of the news. So we are accidentally with our fingertips on the pulse of Hollywood.
Yeah, we're only off
a dead old lady
a week instead of 40. Stay tuned in November for our new Matrix review.
Betty White was there's the two nice old people and the mean lady.
Toki.
She's kind of the main nice lady.
Oh, okay.
I don't know any of their names.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I think she might have a blue dress on.
Yeah. I only remember the shorter haired Toki, the mean one.
Toki's the mean one. Yeah. That's the one I remember because why wouldn't you? But she's one of the two like kind of best friend old people. But it's just like I don't care about Betty White. I mean, she seemed great, but like it's not, that's not the world that I live in. But it was just kind of weird. You're like, oh shit! Like out of all the movies, like we've done 100 and whatever movies, we've never even sniffed at Betty White.
Yeah,
and out of nowhere, this one comes swinging.
Betty White.
Yeah. So I like the old people. They're cute in a different way than the children, but also they draw their faces similarly, in that kind of circle of life kind of thing.
But also, and also just how they deal with him, like because. It's like the way grandmas will spoil their grandchildren, where it's just like, I don't have to care anymore, like it's fine, I'm just going to be nice to you and sweet because I don't expect anything out of you. And I don't know, I enjoyed their interactions a lot.
Ponyo talks to him and says Ponyo loves Sasuke and Ponyo loves ham. I think we need to establish
we've not talked about the occult powers of ham.
Well, I just assumed that humans taste like ham.
Oh, okay. That would probably be it.
Is that not the through? Like, I'm kind of joking, but like, I think that's what they're saying is she was born of human blood, and like it's called long pig when you eat human. Like, I think the eating ham is eating people.
But she never like even thought about eating other people.
You don't know that.
Well, no, but I mean, it was not a plot point or anything where he has to be like, no, we don't eat people. Like in one of the Terminators. I don't know. I feel like there's that. It's that fucking stupid Suicide Squad movie where they're like, no,
with fish,
don't
with Fishman. Yeah.
But maybe she initially thought that, but then had ham and went, you know what? I think ham's the way to go.
Yeah, or she just needs to have another taste of that sweet, sweet Sasuke and go, ooh, I think I know what I want to eat. And then she goes on a bloodthirsty rampage that lasts for generations.
Yeah. Maybe or maybe ham does something to the blood. So if you're kosher or halal or something, you're fine. You don't have ham has not affected your mRNA.
Oh, all right. So this is like an anti-vax thing. Great. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, go on. And what is Bill Gates doing to us?
If you pee on some ham and then inject that ham into some horse paste, you'll cure COVID.
Yeah, put that ivermectin. Yeah, that's the stuff. Her dad, the underwater wizard, Fujimoto. Mr. Fujimoto sends his amazingly animated wave creatures to take Ponyo back.
Yeah, this was kind of nice because I commented on Porco Rosso how much I love how he animates water, and then he was like, "You like that? Check this out."
Oh yeah, he was answering your prayers here. Yeah. And Ponyo gets pulled back in the sea, and Sasuke cries. And I honestly got a little teared up when Sasuke started crying.
Well, here's something I didn't fully understand, and I don't fault the movie for this, because it.
Oh, see, emotions are this thing that normal people have. I can walk you through it.
Yeah, no, I'm not falling for that. I'll pee on some ham. That'll help me not have emotions.
Why don't you pee on 3 hams?
But when he's like scoping out the joint, and he's got that like mister thing that he's the backpack mister thing, so it keeps him humidified. I think he says.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of sees that the kid has Ponyo. Just shove the kid. Like if you're this bad,
he's not a monster.
Yeah, but he wants to destroy all mankind, and if this is gonna, if Ponyo being gone is gonna cause the moon to hit Earth or whatever, just shove the kid.
I'm just saying, it's one thing to commit genocide; it's another thing to push my best friend Sasuke.
Okay. Well, but
he's an adorable little boy with a little cap on.
But
he's like a little sailor man.
He's
my best friend.
Does not know you exist.
I'm pretty sure Sasuke knows his best friend exists.
No. Obviously Sasuke does. I'm saying the villain doesn't. So he does. Fujimoto doesn't know what he's messing with, and also he's
in this guise. But back when he pretended that he was Qui-Gon, he made me get a cool braid, and he was also my best friend and master until he was killed by an evil wizard.
Qui-Gon Jinn made everything worse. He is the real villain of the Star Wars prequels.
I think you're thinking of George Lucas.
No, he's a hero, and we should have had more midichlorians. But yeah, I just because I mean the movie in Miyazaki form, like there's not a villain. You know what I mean? Like there's the bad guy isn't bad necessarily, but at the same time when he's like, just take the thing, it's right there, whatever.
There's do you know what kami are?
Yeah, of course I do. Why don't you tell me what they are, and I'll just check to see if you're right.
It's part of Shinto, which is Japanese. Religion's the wrong term, but they've got these spirits called kami, which they're like spirit of places. And kami, you leave little offerings to, like a steamed bun or something, like saying, "Hey, thank you, Mr. Kami. I'm glad I'm in your woods," or whatever. But the interesting thing about kami is you can't affect them. Like, you can piss them off if you do something stupid, but it's not like if you leave an offering to a kami, they'll give you blessings or something.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're almost like storms or like just these aspects of nature that just exist. And all you can do is kind of hope to not annoy them. You can't please them. You can't they're just these intrinsic things. And I think a lot of Miyazaki comes from that. Like this water wizard.
Mm-hmm.
He's just doing what he's supposed to, like,
right.
Objectively, he's in the right from his perspective. His ocean world is being fucked by humans. So he's doing this thing, and it's just this kami kind of concept where it's just they're doing what they do, and humans don't really, it's not a human-centric idea of the spiritual side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And Miyazaki really brings that around. And I don't know if that's if he grew up Shinto or something, but like it permeates a lot of his work.
Yeah, I mean, like that kind of notion of particularly like balance between nature and mankind, and also that same sort of thing of that generally people have their reasons for doing things that aren't just me want money, or I mean there are those people, but in his movies it tends to be like people have deeper motivations than that. And like, because in this case, particularly later on when he has saved the old folks home, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He just wants all of humankind gone.
Well, I mean, that's what it's kind of the kami thing. Yeah. It's objectively they're trying to hurt anybody. They're just trying to do what they do. There's an adorable thing about where we're talking about so Sasuke's crying, my heart's broken. And, he's like, "Mom, can I leave the pail out back so Ponyo knows where I live?" And it's such an adorable little kid moment of, well, the fish is going to see this pail and know I live here, so she's going to come back up. But also, that works.
Yeah,
like it's such a beautiful, like, that dumb kid logic, but like in this world, dumb kid logic is, yeah, of course that's the way it is. It's like fairy stories where it's just like, yeah, of course. What, you walk around the tree 3 times widdershins while singing. Yeah. How the hell else would you enter?
Well, I had read a couple of different takes on this, where one was this sort of idea that Sasuke's world versus Ponyo's world being kind of the conscious and subconscious, where, because the ocean stuff is so like magical and strange and weird, and his day-to-day life is just day-to-day life is boring, whatever. But so that like leaving the bucket out absolutely would work. That kind of magic nonsense for this world. I also saw this Reddit ass stupid theory about like they're actually all dead. And this is about them dying. It's like, this is, no, I don't buy that for a moment.
Those are the grossest theories, that they've been dead the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so
So
fucking
the
lazy.
hurricane actually happened
absolutely
and
everything.
it killed all them. And they're like, oh, you know, there's water and the River Styx has water. So it's the same thing. It's deconstructed or it's, you know, deconstruction or just like that kind of form of criticism, but like without any thought put into it. It's just saying, well, that's in there. So that must be what it is.
No, totally. Yeah. It's just it's the easiest form of like alt theory.
Yeah.
That, it's all in his head.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote an entire book that can be read that way, but like I put effort into that.
There's ways to do it. You know,
we get it's established that his dad is kind of a jerk. He takes another ship duty. I don't know what you call it.
He loves his family, but he's married to the sea.
There should be a song about that. So, and there's this adorable little sequence where he is flashing his light to do like Morse code back to the mainland.
An Aldous lamp.
Aldous lamp. I didn't know those words.
Yeah, they did the same thing in Porco Rosso when all the pirates are doing that.
Yeah, Aldous. I don't think I knew that, but there's a fun thing, and there's like a nice like kind of you're in so much trouble 1996 joke of like his mom just be like, she's not having any of his fucking sweet talking Aldous lamp.
Yeah.
What does she keep saying? Bug off.
Oh well, in the subtitled version, she just calls him a jerk. It's like what is she? Baka, whatever. Which but like I like it because he's like, oh, what should we say back? And she just like spells out jerk.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. In the dubbed, it's bug off, but she just keeps violently doing BUGOFF.
Mm-hmm.
What a weird change. It's not like jerk is that.
I think it's maybe two word. Because that's 2 syllables. Bug off, so that might match the mouth better than jerk.
Oh, that's a real good point. Yeah. Baka. Bug off. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That's a real good point. Yeah.
But I like that.
Don't clip that. Because if you clip that, then I'm going to have, that's a good point, John. Oh, this is a whole fucking...
This is a great episode for me.
Hey, John, clip this one. Everything you just said is wrong and you're a dumb piece of shit. All right.
That's every other episode.
That's true.
But I do like that, that there is this, like, I'm mad at you, and, like, there's this strife going on, but it is, like in so much of his movies, like, so much of that stuff is, like, background. It's not... It's part of the miasma of daily life, but it's not like a huge plot point. It is in the sense that he's gone later, but just like that strife in the relationship is just, okay, we know that that's a thing.
Well, because everything is from the kind of child perspective.
Yeah.
Even if a child is vaguely aware his parents are fighting, there's not like they're aware of the nuance.
Right.
Like, it's not like Sasuke's going, oh, I guess mom feels kind of abandoned and then she's stuck here with me. And I don't,
Yeah. Well,
also, I like her
because I like dad and it's fine.
I like her mom just cracking a big Sapporo. It's just like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. And that's how the scene ends, is just like the beer foaming up and everything like, crap. Did in the dubbed version, does he call his parents by their first names, or does he say mom and dad?
I feel like he says mom and dad. I'm not 100% sure about that though.
Because I thought it was I found it off-putting that he referred to his parents as Lisa and whatever the dad's name was, just because that's such like a creepy little kid thing to do.
My best friend's starting to get a little creepy.
But then that also speaks to your like aging him up a little bit, where he's his own little man. He calls adults by their regular names.
Because he calls the old people by their names.
Yeah. That makes sense to me, though, because, like, you might get introduced around where, I'm Opal.
No, but in Japanese culture, you'd call them by their, whatever they call their surname, their family name. And he calls them by their first name. Like that by their, informal name. I mean, whatever. Its translation is fucking ridiculous. And there's no way for me to have any knowledge on that. This leads into one of my favorite scenes where we cut back to undersea and Brunhilde / Ponyo just wills herself to have hands and feet, but they're like chicken feet.
Yes.
Which like there's this weird, because I mean that's a very magical. What's that lady in Russia with the chicken?
Baba
feet?
Yaga. The house has chicken feet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, whatever. But like, it's a very it's a very like magical thing of her. But also, she wills real hands, and she's got this delightful thing of like, I want feet like Sosuke, and it is I love this entire sequence. And then her dad he just tries to shove her, like, no, you can't have agency. You need to stay young and childlike and under the sea and just get back in. Yeah. It's that same panic single dad move. Like, no, can you please stop? Have you ever thought about not being a mutant, Bobby? Like,
yeah. Well, and I like that her escape in that scene, like the way the water works, how she like basically like pulls out chunks of it when she's like escaping from the window.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was really cool. But yeah, again, this for the horror movie aspect of it, the weird like body horror of her halfway transition of like this almost human but not, and she comes more like toad-like almost in her face.
Okay, you might know this and I can't figure it out. When she's half chicken underwater, she looks like a Muppet baby, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, she has that kind of Skeeter, like big mouth, or
Is
Fozzie
Skeeter
kind of
who I'm thinking of?
Might be, or Kermit even, being a frog.
No, he was like a red-haired. Oh no, it is Skeeter, exactly. Yeah. No, because it has the same kind of red hair falling over the top, kind of rounded face.
Yeah,
like Skeeter kind of looks like aquatic. Okay, yeah. There's like a very Skeeter thing. I'm glad I brought this up because this really went somewhere and it was totally worth our time.
Well, it was the third time I was right, so I'm keeping it in.
But you were right. But embarrassing because you were aware of who that was, and I have a vague recollection of it.
It's cool to know who Skeeter is. So she escaped, and this is basically, and in the process of escaping, causes whatever magical elixirs her wizard dad has to get unleashed, and like chaos reigns. Her little siblings turn into giant fish wave things.
Wait. So he pours all that shit that he was pouring down a magical glowing well.
Because you see, like when he had enough, that's when it was going to get raw.
Yeah,
and her doing it was a complete like accident. She was just trying to, because they even makes reference to the door being broken a couple of times.
I was just gonna say that door, like they've got that porthole window on it, and then where her sister puts her hand up that she just made that said "Not Sasuke's boat." And you realize, oh my God, Desmond, this is true. So there's a lot of Losts here with the magical well. And although I think probably this, when was Lost on? I think this may have actually stole it. This is 2008. One was, there's some Lost stuff in it. I'm sure they're pulling it from the same source, but the magical glowing well that could reset humanity, like, ooh, uh-oh. And that also explains why Matthew Fox started to have a nice little round tummy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most adorable lyric in the history of ever.
I
mean, I've lost any kind of like coolness or like adulthood during this.
See, again, like having watched the subtitled version, no idea. You just sound like
really?
A psychopath, and that was the most terrifying thing I've ever heard.
Oh God, wait, hold on. I'm gonna hold on, John. I have to sing for you.
No,
for a second.
No, that's okay.
Yes, absolutely, because the lyrics are fucking. So the Ponyo song in English is Ponyo, 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 fishy in the sea, tiny little fishy, what could you really be? Ponyo, 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 magic sets you free. Oh, she's a little girl with a round tummy.
Okay.
And then it goes on. But also, I got the meter of what I just did could not be further away from it because I don't really remember how the song goes. I just remember the rhyme of, oh, she's a little girl with a round tummy. It's so fucking weird.
I thought we wandered into some weird, like, deviant art, like Alex
no.
Matthew Fox
But what we haven't talked about is that Ponyo, Cliff on the Sea is by Noah Cyrus, Miley Cyrus's brother, and Frankie Jonas, who I believe is part of the Jonas Brothers, if you remember them from whatever.
It makes sense. I mean, because this wasn't this like a Disney release or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense because they're under that umbrella.
Because one of the Cyruses plays Sasuke, I think.
Well, and this typhoon thing is the most... Like, this is where all the horror movie stuff really comes to a head to me, because it's terrifying. Like, everything's getting destroyed by these...
Yeah.
Fish, these waves that are also fish that Ponyo is running on top of. It's an amazing spectacle, but it is like causing all kinds of destruction. Particularly like later when you see like how underwater everything is.
In a real version of this, like thousands of people are dead.
Yeah, that was another in that stupid Reddit theory is that you can tell they're dead because in the real world, that water would be cloudy, and it's not in this, and so it's more of like they're crossing over the other side. So it's like, yeah, because everything else in this movie is totally real. And
You know what's a good point about that is that guy's a dumb shit.
yeah, I just don't go to Reddit for film theories. Just
You know what?
don't.
You know what? In this section, his mother, she risks her child's life to get in front of the tsunamis just so she can go home. When the worker guys are like, go the other way on the leeward side of the island that never floods. Like, they're right. But anyway, I love Ponyo comes back, runs on the waves, and they're like, they stick their head underwater to watch all the fish. And somehow between Ponyo and Sasuke, they know like, oh, these are Denisovian creatures. That's Diploflucla. Oh, look, there's a Snoominablabadoo. It is so fucking random. It is so great. He's 5. And somehow he knows like these intense Greek, whatever, millions of years old fish.
Well, I mean, it's like a little kid talking about dinosaurs. They know everything about dinosaurs. It's just, I guess,
No, but this
he's
is
a
some
fish kid.
obscure ass shit. Yeah.
I could, the whole time though, I was just thinking about opening your eyes in salt water and just, oh my God, that would hurt so bad. But they both seem fine with it. I mean, Ponyo makes sense, but.
Hey, you want to know how dumb I am? I literally just took a second going, wait, the Sea of Japan, is that salt water?
Yeah.
That's how stupid I am as a person, that I was like, no, because it's in between, like a big body of water. So I'm so fucking dumb. Like I'm like, I don't know how to tie my shoes dumb sometimes.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm right there with you, but I'm not going to say it on mic.
Yeah, I just, the thing is I am, and weirdly, don't care.
Yeah, I'm sure I have
because I
before.
live alone
Yeah.
and there's no one around to embarrass other than me. Like it's all on me.
No, it's fine.
Audience at home, I know you're shocked. I live alone. I'm like super lonely. I know that's like new fucking fantastic material for you. I'm like really sad all the time, and that's why I act like this. So hey, look, new characters. Anybody new to the show?
It's a wacky new character, more lonely Alex. So it's after or in the midst of all this that Ponyo finds Sasuke, gets into the mom's car, and they take Ponyo home. And this is this is where it's just super adorable for a good like 5-10 minutes, and I'm like,
oh
that's
yeah,
fine. And then just like putzing around the house, love it.
There's a great moment of Ponyo comes out of the ocean carrying the little green pail. And then just hugs Sasuke, and her mom's like, do you know this girl? It's really fun.
But I like when she gives her the light and she's just putting on top of her head and just running around the house.
I was going to bring up that plug-in lamp thing. Dope as fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't say dope really, but I'm like, damn, I want one of those for the apartment. Yeah. Like that's fucking awesome.
It's pretty nice.
They have hot cocoa, which is adorable. But there's a delightful ramen eating scene. And then Ponyo is like all fat and sleepy. And I literally wrote, and I quote, Jesus, I'm having a hard time with adult life alone.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
That is a direct quote.
Being sleepy, always adorable.
If I may pull back up the shroud of kayfabe, I would like to read the rest of my notes that happened 2 things later. Ponyo's mom be banging underwater, the goddess of mercy. How did he impregnate her? Yikes. Is this like a Hagrid situation?
Yeah. You do have problems with adult life.
Yeah. Well, no, I just needed to because I was like showing like emotions and stuff like a second ago. I want to chase everybody back away and make sure that's fine. No, but then like her mother shrinks down to human size. You're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Which the way the mother's presented, which I like, is when they ask, because Lisa asks about Ponyo's parents, and she's like, yeah, my dad's mean. My mom is amazing. She's gone a lot. She's very scary. But like he says it in this way that's like, yeah, my mom's terrifying. I love it.
Yeah, she says she's big and beautiful and very, very scary. It's like, oh.
And so when she shows up and like when it's revealed the scale of how big the mom is fantastic. Like that's just a great reveal. And I love the design. Because she's almost like Little Mermaid, like with the big red flowing hair. But how she is this amazingly beautiful creature, but is always like undulating and never like quite right. Like her head seems like sometimes like it's too small for the body because it's always just like in motion. And like later when I think it's like she's holding a Fujimoto, and like you can see that her skin is actually translucent, and you can like see him through just weird little, not like off-putting, but uncanny things about her that keep her being extremely like magical and strange beyond just, I'm a big old woman.
Yeah. And then she kind of shrinks down and becomes a somewhat, scaled like, oh, I kind of get it. And they agree that if Sasuke doesn't love her, she'll turn back into sea foam, which is that's a very Little Mermaid concept. But also there's this line where it says sea foam, and Fujimoto's like, oh, that's terrible. It's like, well, that's how we all go back.
Yeah.
It's like this very like natural, just where that's the nature of all things. Like, yeah, she probably could have had a life, but like, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
it's we all go back to seafoam.
Apparently, Miyazaki read Little Mermaid as a kid and was not so fond of it. In Hans Christian Andersen's version, like, mermaids don't have souls. And so there's a sort of like Christian element to it of like, if you do the right things and you're good enough, you'll get a soul and ascend into heaven. Whereas this is more just like, no, we're all part of the same nonsense. Yeah. The important thing is to love one another.
By the way, if you read the original Little Mermaid, it's fucking brutal. It's really, really horrible. Like, don't bring that anywhere near your children.
Yep, a lot of good old fairy tales are pretty.
And that's creepy. I would call Alex saying that. So it's agreed that there's going to be basically to decide the fate of all mankind. We find out whether a 5-year-old has a crush on another 5-year-old, which is let's not try to think about it too much. There is a great sequence where Sasuke and Ponyo decide to try to find Sasuke's mom, and Ponyo expands his little toy boat so they can both drive it. I've never seen a boat like that before, and I'm so mad that as a little kid I didn't have like a cool like light a fire and it starts a thing boat. How rad would that be when you're fucking 5?
Yeah, you're not getting a toy here that you need to light a fire to make it work.
When I was 5, I think I would have been allowed.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were probably on like the tail end of that. I mean, like if you were in the 50s or 60s, oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah, they give you like radium with your fucking chemistry set. But like, what a cool toy. I just love that sequence of the boat being enlarged. But then there's this really great sequence, and again, I want to break kayfabe for a second, where they meet this very ugly, angry baby and her mom. That baby's face is so mad.
Yeah, it was nice to see some representation.
Yeah, you are the angry baby of the show.
That is true.
But I love this conversation of like, she wants to feed the baby something. She's like, oh no, the baby only drinks milk, and like the kind of primal understanding of what breast milk is. And Sasuke being like, no, my mom gave me milk too. That's how this works. And it's just, I don't know. It's a really kind of wholesome. This would not show up in an American movie.
Well, just how like Ponyo's whole body language in that, the way like it's a kid that like, no, I want him to do this. That's not for you. That's for him. But like not mean, you know what I mean? But like, she's like trying to assert her desires, but it's in this very like little kid way. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's something that I love immensely about these Miyazaki movies is that they're not awful American children's stuff. There's tons of fine stuff out there for kids to watch, and it's fine. It's also not for me, but it's just, I rewatched The Secret of Nim not that long ago, and I was like, yeah, there's not like musical numbers. It's grim and kind of sad and kind of scary in places. Like, I miss stuff being like this instead of just everyone having the fucking DreamWorks CG face. And then
here's the part where magical reality sets in. Ponyo walks on water. To cure a baby of her illness.
Yes.
Like, literally, religions were founded on much, much less. Like, we have watched the creation of a new Messiah, a chicken-footed Messiah.
All hail Chickenfoot.
Yeah. It's a great scene, but it's just one of those. Oh, also, dude, that tunnel was so scary that they have to pass through.
It was. And I also, particularly because Ponyo is so sleepy. But like it's adorable, but it's also like adds to the danger. Doesn't feel like the right word because as much as like you said, for it being like from the child's point of view, for how horrific the stakes are, you never get the sense of the grandness of it because you're with Sasuke so much. It's like the large is made personal, which it's a very different movie to compare this to, but it's like that's something that never worked for me for Godzilla versus Kong, where it's like, we want to have this tiny little story about like these people, but we also want to have these giant monsters fight and have you care about them equally. And it never really worked. Whereas this, totally. Like you understand the stakes, but Sasuke doesn't. Sasuke's just like, I need to see my mom. Like, I'd like to go find out where my mom is.
No, it's totally correct. That's why I think these work, because I don't know, it's that fairy tale thing again coming back.
Yeah, just keeping that point of view consistent, I think works.
Yeah, then we kind of lead into, I mean, we kind of touched on this, is that Fujimoto saves the old people home by trapping it in like an underwater bubble.
Mhm.
And I love that Sasuke's mom is just vibing with the I think a Grandma Mara is what they
Yeah.
call her in it, but like the like goddess of the sea, and they're just like the old people are like they've been talking for like a day straight. They're like, "Hey, what are you talking about over there? We want to go
Yeah.
too."
That whole thing, I love how just the old women in the nursing home are spry enough now or feel good enough to like where before they were in wheelchairs, now they're running around and they're enjoying being able to run again. And there was just something very pure and sweet about that. That's where I started to get a little like choked up. That like because there was not any indication of like, oh, we're young again, we're gonna live forever. It was almost like that movie Cocoon or something where it's just like, hey, right now we're doing great.
I was about to bring up Cocoon. Yeah, it reminded me of Cocoon, which was a weird favorite of mine when I was a kid.
Still have never seen it. I just know that I've just seen like the scene where they're in the pool. That's it. Like that's all I know about Cocoon and Steve Guttenberg.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, never saw it.
You're you know, very close relative, Wilford Brimley, isn't it?
We had it on tape. I just never watched it.
Your mustache idol, Wilford Brimley's in it.
Mustache idol. Yep, every boy has one.
Well, he's got a similar facial hair to you. Also, scary enough, he's not that much older than us in that movie.
Yeah.
Because that man played old as shit. Like, he's in that movie playing like 70, and I think he's 50.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, something happened in the 90s where everybody got about 15 years more to their lifespan. Like, I don't know, did we like invent collagen or something in about 1993?
It's the damn fluoride in the water supply. That's the problem.
It works for me.
It's we're turning the friggin' frogs gay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's Ponyo loves Sasuke, and everything works out. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it all ends up getting solved. And yeah, basically the dad learns to let go enough and it's like, do you really love her? And he's like, oh, absolutely. But again, like because of this movie and the way this movie is, it's very much this like, not agape, but like it's a very like love for your fellow man kind of love. It's a very like it's fairy tale love. There's not a romantic side to it really, but or at least that the movie doesn't really present it as that kind of love.
So wait, John, I mean, I obviously know what agape means, but like maybe somebody in the audience
sure.
like some like very dumb person that like doesn't know what that word is like at all. Maybe you could like explain to them because like I could do it, but like you said it, so I thought like maybe you could do it.
It's like the fatherly love of God for humans, or just like the human reciprocal love for God. It's the highest form of love.
I mean, yeah, I knew that. Thanks for explaining it. No, but I kind of got from context, but I'm like, that's an interesting word. I should have Mr. Smarty Pants explain it.
I only know it just came up in another context. But then the movie ends with like, because he's supposed to like if he in a much fairy tale way, if he kisses her, she'll totally turn into a human. And Ponyo hops out of her little bucket and kisses him, and the movie like pulls back. There's Ponyo like midair, and Sasuke looking kind of surprised. And so it ends kind of like ambiguously, where it's like, okay, everything's saved, and Ponyo gets to be free, but did we just witness an arranged marriage between 5-year-olds?
I think so, or at least an arranged like stewardship.
I mean, again, like because it is more of a like, it seems like they're going to be siblings, or something, because that's going to get weird later. It ends happily, but at the same time, it doesn't have that like happy ending feeling, or at least I didn't feel that way. Like I wasn't like, oh, are things going to work out? But it just didn't have that like, everything's perfect now kind of feeling to it.
Yeah, it's like an actual story where just no story at the end, everything's cured. It's like, oh, good, the thing we're dealing with right now is kind of dealt with, so let's just we're moving on. Yeah.
And I like that, again, that ambiguity that he brings to a lot of his work, because it's also just it's nice to, and I can't speak for actual children with this, but children seem to enjoy this stuff all right, is that like to not treat children like idiots, or, to not just jingle keys at them.
In closing, I could not recommend this movie enough. Well, no, I could. I really enjoyed it. But I think you get the vibe of what this movie is. If you're in the mood for something like this, I think it's pure and lovely and great and really, really enjoyable.
It's a lot lighter. It's fine. It's good. I didn't like it as much. There wasn't as much for me to like hold on to. But it's beautiful. Absolutely worth seeing.
Recommendations. I have a recommendation for you and for the audience. So much so, I actually texted you this. Station 11 on HBO Max. It's based on a book that I've never heard of. I don't know if it's popular or not, but motherfucker, I really love the show. It is like 9 episodes long, I think, maybe 10. The newest episode premiered yesterday, or the final episode premiered yesterday. It's post-apocalyptic, was filmed kind of as like before COVID started, definitely written before COVID started, but like, oh my God, there's so much COVID in it. It's bananas. But like basically you're following I don't want to give too much away, but it's basically post-apocalyptic, and there's a like a Shakespeare troupe that they make their money in the apocalypse after the apocalypse, basically doing Shakespeare things, and like they kind of talk about the world before, the world after, and the intersees between the two, and it's just really great. There's one of the leads is a character called Jeevan. He's just such a well done character. He's got panic attacks. He's got like a weird personality, but like he's really likable. There's just it's a character I don't see enough of, and maybe it's that representation thing. I'm like, oh, someone with a panic disorder. Like this, I feel seen.
Yeah, I read the book years ago. Like George R. R.
Really?
Martin was a big, probably still is, fan of it, and I remember reading it. And I'm like the one person that like I was like I don't really enjoy this, but I think. Maybe it just wasn't what I expected it to be. I don't know. I should give it another shot, but I've heard nothing but good things about the show, and so I've been meaning to check it out.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I don't have anything like nuance to say about it. It's just there's some representation, there's some character stuff that isn't done the normal way. I think all the actors are really fucking killing it. Lori Petty's in some.
Oh, I love Lori Petty.
Yeah. David Cross shows up, who actually does a good job. I like saving things. Anyway, yeah, it's very good.
Nice. Mine, I'm going to go the complete opposite end of the animation spectrum. Watched Mad God by Phil Tippett, who Phil Tippett is a special effects guy, did like ED-209 in RoboCop, did stuff for Star Wars, just classic.
Yeah. That's why
special effects guy made this wild, like all stop motion movie. It's light on plot, but there's a lot there, and it's like everything is so is so detailed, and you can tell a lot of time spent on it. It is disgusting. It is one of the most like just putrescent, obscene, gross things. It's
what's it called again?
Mad God.
Oh, it's from like right now. Oh shit!
But it's amazing to watch. Like it does have, when I say like it's light on plot, like it does have things to say, and I think it says it very effectively. But it is very surreal and like it's made of nightmares. Like
it looks cool. It looks like a Tool video.
Yeah, it's like a Tool video, but you don't have to listen to Tool. But yeah, it'll get in your brain. It's like David Lynch sees it and is like, check please. Cronenberg's all like, clean up on aisle 3. And Eli Roth is going like, women love me, fish fear me. It's one of those movies.
Yeah, it's like jokes in the 90s.
But yeah, I haven't seen anything like it before. It's wild. I hope to watch again. But for a more accessible, in a number of ways, recommendation. Right now on Hulu, they're playing Riders of Justice, which is also a very recent movie with Mads Mikkelsen. It's a Dutch movie. It's amazing. It's about this man. He's in the army. His wife and daughter die in a train crash, or his wife dies in a train crash. Daughter survives, and this other guy on the train crash is convinced it wasn't an accident, and things kind of spiral out from there in this mission of vengeance. But it's a comedy, and it's very sweet and funny. There's moments of violence, but it's absolutely wonderful, and I can't recommend it enough.
Oh, nice. I'm a big Mads guy. I'm
I believe I texted you that it's bullshit that I have to go through life not looking like Mads Mikkelsen.
Dude, I hear you. I'm the fucking same way. It's really
Joe Biden, get on that.
All right, so next episode we don't have to think about because we asked the audience on Twitter at JAWSPod, JAHS pod, a little poll. What next Miyazaki should we do? And the overwhelming winner was My Neighbor Totoro.
All right.
One of the more famous ones where boldly Miyazaki used his time machine to steal the concept of Snorlax to make one of the most iconic characters in the history of Eastern animation.
And get those cops fired.
Oh, that's funny. Yes. Well done. I was like, what the fuck are you talking? Oh, yeah.
I guess people heard you mention that your biological clock was ticking and went, you know what, let's really make that hurt. And focus more on Miyazaki children's stuff. And here's My Neighbor Totoro. So way to go,
but
audience.
at least this one has like weird forest spirits and shit that I can vibe with.
You can forget the pain of being alive.
Like Totoro's a total incel like me, so like it's totally fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen his posts on men going their own way.
Lonely guy, obsessed with Japan, totally overweight, bad teeth. Sound like somebody you know?
Oh, he's got nice teeth. I thought he has.
Yeah, sure. I don't really have bad teeth either. I was just trying to come up with something else, and I kind of just fucking bailed.
A third thing. He's got that too.
Yeah, it's literally an inaccurate third thing because my teeth are fine, like fair to middling. It's totally.
They're acceptable teeth.
Yes, they work. They chomp on things and are kind of at least related to the color they're supposed to be.
So everyone send Alex your love at JawsPod. Hashtag love Alex's teeth. It's Alex with 2 X's. Let's get that trending.
Yeah, or just DM, hey, Alex, I've always been thirsty for you. I'm finally willing to admit it. I live in Portland and I'm attractive and in your age group.
And I'm a tooth.
I mean, I'm not gonna, dent shame anybody. So, if that's what you're into, that's what you're doing.
That sounds fine. But yeah, we're at Twitter there, or we're on Facebook as well. And we're on pod things, which you should go listen to us and rate and review and recommend to your friends.
Exactly what John said. Rate, review, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. And much like the great Robert, last name redacted, because I don't know if he wants to have it on the show, he share stuff on Facebook. Like Steph Quick does. Share on Facebook. Share on Twitter. Spread the gospel. Have people go, why do you listen to this show? But then you can have a conversation with your friend. It's win-win.
You can explain yourself. And our friend Pam did that as well, right?
For some reason, I think it's Pamela.
Yes, I wasn't sure it was Pamela.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know either. But the thing that, the reason I didn't recognize that name was it's basically I'm saying, hey, John, this is my brain. I'm a big dummy that doesn't understand words.
Yeah, I've been on 100 episodes of the show with you.
That's nonsense. The first 30 episodes, my brain hadn't degraded that much. I still do words.
That's all right. Mine's garbage too. So it's this. I think you can probably go back and watch our mental decline happen, chart it out. There's probably real touch points of roundabout Rain of Fire. It's
yeah.
The language.
I bet you once the pandemic starts, you could actually I think once pandemic starts, add 4 months, and you can actually see do those charts of how many words we use per sentence. Yeah. It just starts dropping, language starts dropping, and then towards the end it's just Alex going, Ponyo, 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 it's got a tummy, someone hug me, I'm really lonely.
Yeah, that's
good rhyming.
That was good.
My degree in poetry is coming in handy.
Finally paid for itself.
All right, we're now after all that stuff that's definitely going to be in the edit. Everybody, we'll see you next time with My Neighbor Totoro.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ponyo, 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 sakana no